Well, hello. Get the drummer song. That's right. Today we're going to give the drummer song. Welcome to Henry Clark's channel. This is Henry Clark's channel. I try to show you guys how to get that little bit more out of the BIAB product. And today we're going to concentrate on extracting drums. And a lot of you guys have always asked, why does the BIAB do that, right? Well, I think that when they came up with utility tracks, because you needed those extra tracks, that kind of moved them forward in creating the capability of doing that. So I'm going to show you guys today how you can actually extract the drums in BIAB and massage them and kind of shape them however you want to, right? So, you know what? So just hang tight. Of course, if you like what I do, always subscribe. I can always use more subscribers like anybody else who does this, right? But just hang tight for a second, and I will be right back, and I will show you guys how you can actually extract drums. Now, again, I don't remember exactly whether it came out in 21 or 22, but definitely in 2022 and 2023 has that capability. It may be in 2021, and I think anything earlier than that, you do not have that capability because you must have utility tracks in order to do that. So again, I will be right back. Let me change my screens up a little bit, and I'm going to show you guys Henry's method of extracting drum stems and using them in an actual song. Okay, so I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, so I picked a smooth ballad, right? Smooth song just to do this with, show you how this works, right? So again, it's just called Smooth Ballad Piano. I'll let you hear a little bit of it right now. And listen to the drums now. What I want you to just concentrate on the drums, which if I solo it out, you can hear the drums, right? So I thought those drums were okay. Yeah, just okay. But I wanted a little bit different, and I wanted to start the song just a little bit different instead of hitting you in the face with the drums right away. So what I did was I decided, let me go find a drum pattern that I think might be better. So I'm going to go down here to Utility 1. I'm going to go to Utility 1. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go Select Drums. So I'm going to select some drums here, right? And I'm going to choose real drums. Now, here's the key. This is the most important thing here. Notice in this column here that says stems. Notice that. This stems mean how many individual tracks of the drums they have recorded. And if you have a 0, then obviously they don't have any stems extracted. If they have 4, they have some. I decided to pick a drum set that has 8 stems. And again, you must have stems loaded. So if you have stems, I decided to pick this Modern Pop Ballad 16th. When I picked the 16th, notice it has 8 stems. The thing says 8 stems, right? So if I open that up, it will show me what those 8 stems are comprised of. Those 8 stems means, I've got a snare, I've got an overhead, I've got the mix of that's the entire drum set, the snare bottom, the room, the kicking, the hi-hat, the kick cut, and the toms. Now, this is really important. I know, back when I made my first single, which was a long time ago, right? And we went to the studio, I was in a singing group, right? And they spent the whole half of the first day just on the drums. I was so mad, man. I was like, get me out of here, right? But I get it. They spend a lot of times in studios and working with drums, microphones, things like that. So I know a lot of people say they want to take and kind of create the drum atmosphere themselves with their EQs and their reverbs and things like that. You know what? That's hard though, man. I'm telling you, BIAB, they have done a great job at creating a drum set feel, a drum set ambience that is very difficult for you to do individually. But if you want to do that, that's fine. So anyway, Modern Pop Ballad 16th has 8 different sets of stems. And these are the stems: snare, overhead, mix, snare bottom, room, kicking, hi-hat, kick out, and toms. And of course, the overhead just means the mics that are overhead that are recorded, right? The room is the overall room ambience. So what I'm going to do, and I'll just play it, let's hear what it sounds like. And I'll just solo the drum. I I just love the hi-hat now one. Actually, it's a pretty good pattern. Anyway, so I'm going to select, I'm going to take all of the stems. Now, normally I wouldn't do this. Normally what I would do is I probably would grab maybe just the mix, which is the entire drum set, maybe the kick, maybe the snare, and maybe the hi-hat. I would probably grab those. But in this case, just for training purposes, right, I'm going to just grab them all, right? So when I selected, notice that they all had a check mark beside them. When I do that and I click OK, they are going to actually load on the utility tracks. So just think, this is taking 8 utility tracks by itself. I'm going to click OK. Notice what happened to the mixer here. You will see, let me see if I can extract this mixer here. I forgot how to do this. There we go. So notice they took all of the tracks, the drums, and they extracted them out. So I have them all sitting out here now, all 8 of the drums. Well, now if I go back, and this is what I have. Notice it's pretty crowded in there, right? So what I'm going to do now is just to hear what that drum sounds like, I am going to mute my original drum set. I'm going to leave the mix in, and I'm going to mute all of the rest of the individual stems that came in, just to kind of give me an idea of what it's going to sound like. And this is what it's going to sound like now with the new drum set in the mix and the same pattern. See, I like that, because I like that busy hi-hat. I'm just a big fan of that. Now, if I take the mix off, obviously I won't have any drums, but if I take the mix off and I bring the kicks, I'm gonna put the kick in, the snare drum, the hi-hat, the toms, the overhead, the room, I'm bringing all of those back, and these are the individual drums that you will hear playing. And notice the individual stems are playing. My kick is playing, kick out's playing, snare's playing, snare bottom's playing, hi-hat's really low, but it's playing. So I have my individual stems now. Now I can take those and I can move them over into my DAW by doing audio export. If you guys saw one of my earlier videos, you can see how to do that, right? And which is probably the preferred method of me doing this, is to take it and do it that way. However, just to give you guys an example of how to do it within the console itself, which again is not my preferred method, but I'll show you how to do it, right? Is that because, in my opinion, I may take and just use the kick on a separate track and maybe the snare and maybe the hi-hat. And for all the other drums, I'll just use the mix because I want that ambience, so I won't necessarily worry about all of those other drums. So I'll just take those. And I probably got the drums up high in the mix because I want you to hear them a little bit better. So what I'm going to do in order to do that, I need to go to Audio Edit, which is right here. So when I go to Audio Edit, I get to pick. So notice that the kick drum is sitting here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the kick drum start the song, and I'm going to have the kick drum play throughout bar 21. Baby, yeah, 21's good. That's fine. And then I'll have the rest of the drums coming in at bar 21. So the kick in bar 21, I'm going to take and set a node here, and I'm going to set another node right beside it. And I'm going to take and I'm going to have that play all the way up to bar 21, and then I'm going to drop the kick drum out the rest of the way. I'm going to do the same thing. That's kick in. Kick out, I'm going to do the same thing as I'm going to go here, kick, select my instrument, which is kick out. My bar is already set, bar 21. Set another node, and I'm going to volume automate my kick out. So I don't want my kick out to play either. I'm also going to go and my snare. I figure my snare, I think I'll bring my snare in at 21. I'll bring my snare in at bar 13 would probably be good. So I'm going to bring my snare in at bar 13. So at bar 13, I'm going to bring my snare in, which means my snare will not play until it gets to bar 13. Bring my snare in at bar 13, and I'm going to take my snare out at bar 21. And the reason why, again, is because I'm going to use the rest of the drum set going forward. Same thing as my snare bottom. I'm going to take my snare bottom No, maybe I'm gonna bring my snare at bar 9. That's even better. Bring my snare at bar 9 and take it out at bar 21. My hi-hat, 13 is good for my hi-hat. So I'm gonna bring my hi-hat in at bar 13 and I'm gonna take it out again at bar 21. Now, like I said, I'm not going to use the toms, the overhead, the room. So I'm just going to go and mute them right now. I don't want them there because I'm going to use a full drum set. So now for my full drum set, which is the mixed one, I'm going to mute that entire drum set until I get to bar 21. So I'm going to put a note here and another note, and I'm going to take my drum set all the way down to 0. So now my drum set is not going to come in until bar 21. And it'll play that throughout the rest of the song. Now, I hope you got that now, okay? So again, I set audio automation. You could do this in your DAW if you wanted to, but this is just another way of doing it, right? So I've taken the mixed drum set, and I've decided not to have it play until I get to bar 21. Meanwhile, at bar 21, the individual kick is going to be gone, the individual snare is going to be gone, and the individual hi-hat is going to be gone at that bar. Listen to how it sounds. There's my kick, and notice it's only my kick. Just kick. Light snare. And that's that hi-hat. I love that hi-hat. And if you look over here, you will see those individual stems playing. Notice they're gone now, and I'm listening to my mixed drum set now. Now, I know I probably got it, like I said, I got the drums hot, but that's because I wanted you to hear how they sound and going through this, right? So again, this is how you can actually extract the different drum sets. You have to find a drum set that has individual stems. So again, when you go and you pick your drums, and I can do it on any utility track, and I can choose my drums. And when I choose my drums, the column here that says number of stems they have is really important. I noticed that some of them even have 9 and 10 stems to them. You've got as high as 12 stems. Man, that's a lot of stuff, right, that you got. And remember, the stems will always go to the utility tracks. Now, like I said, in my particular preference, I would rather just take the stems, move them over into my DAW through audio export, and kind of massage them and figure out when I want them to come in and when I don't want them to come in, right? Versus, you saw what I had to do with the audio edit window. I had to do quite a few more changes, right? But again, this is an interesting song. It's just something that I just found, a pattern I found. I thought I'd play around with it a little bit. And just to give you guys an example of what you can do, right? I'm sorry, all this time got me a little thirsty, drink a little coffee. Is that what I did was I went and I found a little interesting pattern that I thought I'd bring in around bar 21, right? So again, I'm going to utility 10, and I'm going to select, and this is going to be interesting, right? So I'm going to select some real tracks. So let me see. As a matter of fact, I'm going to select some of my I'm going to just select a favorite. So I'm going to select real tracks, and I'm going to select some recently chosen, right? And I'm going to select this doo-wop, which I don't know how. I think it's going to come out pretty good, right? So I selected doo-wop, and then I selected some oohs and ahs to go under that at this bar. So again, I've got some. Let me see my vocal oohs and ahs. I got some shit. There we go. I'm trying to find my background oohs and ahs. That's a doo-wop. There we go. And I got some ooze here, right? So I thought I'd throw that in there just to give it a little bit different, a different feel. So now when I go back, I'm going to just regenerate, and you will hear the oohs, the ahs, the kick, the whole 9 yards, all in was just one great go, right? There's my kick. And by the way, just so you know, this has been kind of finicky. Sometimes it hasn't worked like it should. I don't know whether it needs a patch, but it's been just a bit inconsistent. I'm talking about doing it through the audio edit window. And if I wanted to, I could bring the snare volume up if I wanted to do that. I like that beat a lot, actually. Listen to that. That's a doo-wop vocal. So that's it. Again, I showed you guys how you could take a drum set, find a drum set with stems. Again, find a drum set. I'll just do this, like choose real drums. Find a drum set with stems. Extract those stems into your DAW. I'm sorry, extract those stems into your band-in-a-box console. They always come on your utility tracks, right? Move them over, and you can massage them accordingly, however you see fit. Like I said, I did it through the audio edit window, but if I was really doing this song, I would do this through my DAW, because to me it's just much easier to cut waveforms and kind of mix and match them. And also, again, I didn't feel the need to take individual tom-toms and overhead and room. But again, this was my choice. You may want to do that. I just felt like if I use it when I extract a part, it's really usually the bass drum that I'm after, the kick, or usually it's the snare or the hi-hat that I'm after. So I try to use those three components in order to do this. Again, hope this helps you guys. So, again, if you have any questions, also just type them in the question marks in the console, right? And again, I thought the program was a little bit finicky as far as the audio edit goes, but all in all, I think it worked really, really well. And I think it gives you a new capability when using the Band-in-a-Box product, okay? I'll see you guys next time, and have a great day, okay? Bye-bye.